Hey y'all, today I'll be showing you how you can make this pumpkin pie, the Lord is my portion snow globe. I'll be showing how you can fill the cup up, how to use my mold to create a fake whipped cream topper using Whip It from Adhesive Apothecary, and also my new pumpkin pie or a sliced pumpkin pie mold. So I'm using a 24-ounce snow globe from Tipsy Magnolia. It also comes with a plug. And then I'm using this decal. I got it off of Etsy and I have it linked below. And then I get it custom printed. So I have websites that I use for custom prints linked below. I'm also using solutions from Adhesive Apothecary. So I want to go ahead and apply my UV up to the front. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. You want to make sure that you get everything smoothed down and placed center as best as you could. I'm also using an adjustable tumbler stand from 𝐻𝐨𝐫𝐿, and I'll have that link below also. And then I'm going to make sure that I take it off slowly so that I don't rip anything or tear anything. And then I really love this verse because it says the Lord is my portion, obviously. So it's just, just giving people hope. If you meditate on that, just having faith in the Lord basically. And then I'm using a solution from Adhesive Apothecary. So I'm kind of using this bottle that I used last week to make that yellow solution. I mixed in, I think it's called 𝐻𝐚𝐦𝐞𝐧𝐬. I have all of the solutions linked below, and then you can also add like a little bit of milk for Santa if you want it to be like a little less vibrant. So I'm just mixing all that together. I had to mix it about twice, I believe, to get it filled up. But my favorite part about using Adhesive Apothecary solutions is that you can really combine a lot of things to create new colors, or just to achieve whatever color you're going for to match your stuff. But after I got that filled up, I'm going to go ahead and plug it. Also, I love the tips because the tips just make it so much easier to fill your snow globes up. And then I never stress about a bubble. If there's a bubble, then it depends on your preference, but I don't stress about it. So that's how that turned out. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is, I'm just showing this glitter really quick because I'm gonna use this for the bottom because I really love it. But before we go any further, make sure that you like and subscribe, more to come. So I've been having people ask me about Whip It from Adhesive Apothecary and if you could use that inside of my mold. And I was also curious, so I wanted to test it out. So I actually got some, and what I had learned is that it does work. The consistency of this is really fluffy, so all you gotta do is pat it down to get it in. I would probably do it like in layers next time instead of taking like one big handful and pushing it in. I think if you do it in layers, you probably pick up more texture, but I think it looks extremely realistic. Especially, it just looks like whipped cream to me, especially the texture. So it does work. You can let it sit for 3 days and then take it out slowly, just so that you can make sure that the inside actually does dry. And then you have like half of the jar left over when you use that, so that's a great thing. And then I'm gonna start with my new pumpkin slice mold. So I'm gonna make it an orange color using some orange acrylic paint mixing with some epoxy. This same epoxy also, after I get done filling my mold up, I'm going to use for the bottom of my snow globe, just so that I can sew that plug in. And then I'm using this glitter called Me So Corny, I think, from It's Pretty Personal. And I don't believe this was available on their website. I think this is from one of their Wild Wednesdays. They do that on Wednesdays. Like if you shop the new releases, I believe you get a new glitter that they have that's like limited. So I got that day. I think it's really pretty. And then what I was thinking was that I wanted to add like a big whipped cream in the middle, because I guess it just depends on your preference also, because my whipped cream mold does have a small cavity for a smaller whipped cream. But when I eat pumpkin pie, I really love using a lot of whipped cream, so I thought that was really cool if I made it realistic or as to how I like to eat mine. So you can paint it. If I had a lighter brown, I probably would have painted it that, like the crust of the pie, a little lighter, but that's how it turned out. So after I got them drying, when I painted it, I'm going to start applying it to my lid. So I'm using some epoxy just so that I can get that adhered. I'm using gloves. Make sure that you're always using protective gear when you work with epoxy. I'm going to go ahead and smear that all over my lid, and then I'm going to add my slices of pie. So I'm going to add some epoxy to those as well. Just make sure that you get it spread all around the bottom so that everything can adhere and dry correctly and like be permanently placed, or as permanent as it can be. I'm going to set those on each side, and then the only thing that would be in the middle at this point will be the whipped cream. So at some point you're going to go back and drill a hole through the whipped cream, and I'll just show you that again. It's really easy when you do that. And then I also want to add a drip to my cup. So as usual, regular epoxy, flour or cornstarch just to make it thicker. And then I'm also going to add some white acrylic paint just so that I can get like a cream color kind of look. So I'm going to go ahead and mix that together. With flour or cornstarch, you want to add the same volume of that as compared to the epoxy, just so that you can get the correct consistency. However, you can use fast set if you feel more comfortable with that. And then I just glap my popsicle stick around the edge of my cup. I don't do it individually because I feel like this method kind of helps you achieve drips more realistically, rather than doing one drip at a time. So that's how I always do it. And then I just like the thicker drip look. I don't want it to drip too far, so that's why I always use flour or cornstarch. You do want to let that dry, and then you can go back over and sew your entire cup and also your topper once that dries too. But that's how that turned out. So yeah, it just gives it that thicker drip look, and then it kind of controls it. So that's how the topper looked the next day after I got done drying. So I really love how it looks. I really love the whipped cream look. I think it looks so realistic. So you can definitely try whip it or spackle in it. I think, you know, obviously it'll work. So, and then I'm going to add the cinnamon stick, using my cinnamon stick mold to the top of my drip, just because if you look at the design has some cinnamon sticks on it. So I thought that would be really cute too. It's just the small touches to add more smaller details. So that's how that looked. To make a hole in the middle, you can use a drill and a Dremel. Just depends on your preference, but I like using my drill the majority of the time. So I start with a smaller drill bit. Go ahead and switch it out. You should start smaller just so that you don't crack or break anything out when you start drilling a hole. So start out smaller. You can work your way up. It's super easy to use a drill. I would recommend that if you're somebody who really wants to learn how to make all different kinds of toppers, to definitely invest in some tools, especially a drill or a Dremel, because it'll just elevate your toppers. This is something that I learned a few years ago, and that's how my cup started going viral, because of the different toppers that I started making. So this is just part of it. I think the drill is super easy to use, and then mine is also wireless. It's like rechargeable, so I think that's a big help too. But that's how it turned out. It was super easy. Make sure that you go back and epoxy everything so that everything is sealed in, and is also food safe. You should use some food safe epoxy. So, but that's how that turned out. I really loved it. I really love the decal, especially spreading some faith and just remaining positive, but also creating food cups that look realistic. I think that's really fun. So I hope everyone loved this. I hope you try it out. I hope you grab the new pumpkin pie mold, and I hope you do try out whipping inside of it. But thank you for watching.